follow me around or anything like that, like they did with the other girls. So I judged, and I absolutely loved that. If they would follow me around and record me at home, you know, I don't want that kind of drama on TV because, I mean, there's cats all over the place, and you know, they're getting in your fabric, and yeah, that's too much trauma for TV.
You're like, sick the camera, man. All the cats going around.
And then your other part of the question was,
what was the coolest cosplay you've ever seen? Someone else.
Coolest costume.
Yeah, the coolest costume.
There was a Zero Suit Samus I saw this in South America or Japan or something, and it was like the one that I would love to. That's the one that I aspire to be to at that level. And if I think of any others, I'll get back to you on that in a moment.
Well, yeah, I think it was just your question. But yeah, I've judged a lot of contests in the country and internationally. So the coolest one though, there's so many. There's so many that I'm inspired by. What?
I just thought of one. Sorry, go. There was these two Jaeger pilots. I don't know which, it was a Wizard World show, I'm not sure which one it was, but they were in the white uniform, or you know, the white armor. They get on stage, and they were synchronized, like the whole thing, like the walking and just the whole movements and everything, and I was just, I fangirl over certain costumes, and I love that movie, so when I saw these guys on stage and they were doing the whole thing, I was, you know, I'm judging right now, and I'm like, oh my god, ah! I'm losing it on stage because it was just so awesome. That one, and oh geez,
I've seen some amazing Groots that look straight up from the movie. I like cry when I see them. I'm like, I just want to ride on you. Like, what? Is that weird?
Pinocchio. I saw this Pinocchio Groot. He was like dressed. It was a Groot.
It was
8 feet tall, dressed as Pinocchio.
And every time he went up to the
Host.
microphone, they would ask a question. He would go, "I am Groot Nokia," and that's all he would say, like over and over again. And he would have the little Pinocchio vest, and we have
the red shorts. Yeah.
The shorts, and he was Pinocchio.
And he did have a detachable nose that was like super long.
So I saw a Groot in China as well when I judged the contest, and I was just like filming them. They were dancing. Oh my gosh.
There was one girl in Chicago that did a Katniss Everdeen in her wedding dress, and sometimes, like if you look long enough, you can find that white fabric, and I forgot, it's not taffeta, it's not organza. I forgot what it is, but it might be organza, I'm not sure. But you know the fabric that's got the ribbons on it? You can find fabric like that, but this girl actually measured out her fabric and spaced out her ribbons evenly on each layer of this dress. And it was just so meticulously put together. The you know that the crystal pieces on each side of her, like one that goes this way and one that goes on her back. She put Swarovski crystals, and it was just the amount of detail that she put into that was insane. It was absolutely beautiful, and it's one of those things that when you're judging a costume contest, I will say real quick, each contest varies in terms of the judging criteria. Some are more focused on showmanship, others are more focused on craftsmanship. Others require that you make a costume 100% or 70%. Others are inclusive of everyone, regardless if you make it or not. And it can get very difficult when you're judging a contest when there's so much, there's so many like just amazing entries that are meeting all of the judging criteria, and
there's also different skills. Like she was talking about the just putting the crystals and the ribbons on that, and then you see somebody with the armor. A Jaeger comes in. It's so hard. Like comparing this suit of armor to, I've seen beadwork, which was like thousands upon thousands of beads, and the person sewed each one individual. And it's like comparing that to the armor. I mean, judging contests is hard because it's two different skills. It's like it's so hard to compare them.
I would say there's one con that I've judged where there's a sewing component and armor making component, and they're judged separately. There's an award specifically for those that sew, an award specifically for those that work with armor. And I love that because they're able to distinguish the two versus pick one or the other. You know what I mean? You know, if there's only 3 awards, how do you, like she was saying, how do you break that down when everyone's mixed together? You know, when you have one that's specific, it makes life way easier.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And we had a question over here. Thank you for waiting, Liz.
I was wondering, how many things do you guys actually make, and how many things do you guys just find and modify?
I'm a find and modify guy, so I'm going to pass the microphone to the makers over here.
There's a lot of pieces of costumes that I have to buy. Like I bought the actual football gear, but then I go and modify it. I took acetone to it, so nail polish remover, and then I had to scuff it up with sandpaper, and then I added things like the feathers. So there's a lot that I modify, a lot of stuff I make from scratch. I've made about 80 or 90 costumes, and most of them are made from scratch. But there's a lot of components that I just can't make. Shoes is a big one. I have to buy shoes because I'm not a cobbler. But there's a lot of components that I do have to buy and modify.
For myself, I do all of my fabric work. I do my armor. If it's a corset, I do commission my corsets through Castle Corsetry because
She's a goddess.
Oh yeah,
Amazing.
right? Yeah, her work is absolutely insane. So because of my tight schedule, I do not have the time to dedicate to learning how to do something completely new and out of my realm at the moment. So I'd rather commission that and save myself the time because my workload's so hectic right now. So I commission those pieces. But like with Dr. Doom, you know, I did all the armor, I did all the fabric pieces, but the corset from that one is from Castle Corsetry. Then, you know, if I'm doing steampunk, all of that's from items I already have at home from my wardrobe or pieces that I can find at Goodwill, and they come together beautifully. If I was going to say the percentage of what I've made in terms of all of my costumes put together versus what I have, like pieces that I've either found, commissioned, purchased, whatever, I'd say it's roughly 70-30. So 70% of my costumes I've made, the other 30% are, you know, either Goodwill, wardrobe, or like corsets.
That was a good question.
Yeah.
Really good. Yes?
How long does it normally take you to make your costume?
I always say 100+ hours. I don't count. If I count it, I would lose my mind, but it's usually 100+ hours, especially if it includes some sort of armor, because the steps for armor, the priming and the sanding, I just feel like it's eternity, like just doing that, layers and layers of primer and sanding until you lose your mind. So I would say 100+ hours generally, but I do them, I think Ivy can agree, we like to do things in short time spans.
I find that my best work only happens when I'm on a very, very tight time limit right before a con. And that goes with with school. When I was in school, yeah, I was a straight A student. Okay, but I wouldn't do any of my work. And kids, if you're in here, please don't do this. Your parents will be so mad at you.
Don't listen to anything we say.
But I would do all of my work either the morning that I'd have to go to school or late at night because I would spend most of my time playing video games at home. But I could get away with it because I would bring home straight A's. And that's the only reason my mom was okay with this. And just like that with costumes, I have a really bad habit of, you know, getting that sudden inspiration at the last moment of, ooh, you know what, I want to do this, or I already have these, you know, pieces for this costume, I'm going to make this now, and I'll do something sometimes a day before, and it's really bad. That'll come back and bite me one day, so yeah. Do not do that.
Yeah, he's always like, stop killing yourself. Do not, you have 2 days. Why are you going to start this suit of armor? Why are you planning on doing it for this convention? He's like, don't do it. I'm like, I must do it.
Myson, for example, we were at a show in Florida, and it was Nicole, Mia, and it was Nadia. It was Nadia. Nadia was there?
No, it was Lexington, so it was the two of us.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know who else.
Sony.
Yes.
So Nicole, Mia, Sony were there. Everyone was hanging out every night, and I spent my time in my hotel room sending photos of my costume progress and of my very unhappy face, working on this, on Bison in each night until I debuted at the morning of the con. And don't do that, you'll lose so much sleep and you'll be such a grumpy person for it. Which works great if you're, if you're a villain, you can just have, resting face all day long because, you're a bad guy, you're supposed to.
Grumpy cat face.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wanted to add to you about the little standing thing. I had to make Loki horns for my friend in 2 days. So she has them today, but she'll literally come up, she'll look right here.
Where is she? Why isn't
She's
she here?
downstairs, but...
Can she fit through the door?
Well, they're upwards.
What do you use for the
it's
materials?
pretty tall. And she was just like, it's so hard to walk. And I'm like, I made them for you. And I had to walk.
You're like, did you sand them?
I
You
did.
walk right now.
Yes, I sanded them for like 2 days straight. So I can understand the agony of that. Sand everywhere.
I just want to get to the painting part. I just want to
Yes.
see it come to life. Like the warbler part, the designing it and everything. But when it comes to the priming and the sanding, it's like, oh,
That's the
That's
worst.
where I get tapped
Let me
in.
hire somebody else to do it for you.
yeah.
I'm pretty good at sanding, just throwing it out there. Yes, you in the back.
I'm curious as far as individual characters go. Most people tend to cosplay as exact characters, that person, that. I tend to gravitate towards vague genres, or like Wastelanders, things like that. And,
Wasteland reppin'.
And Max, did you just punch me?
And,
Yeah.
Fallout, things like that. How does that, do those characters fit well into judging, or do people that are based on actual characters tend to be favored more than people that are just the genre?
Oh, I can tell
Good
you,
question.
there are so many characters, I have no idea who they are, but I just look at the costume and the work that goes into it and the passion that the people have. Because a lot of anime characters, I have a handful of animes that I love, but there's like billions of anime characters out there. I have no idea who 90% of them are that go on stage. I don't know who you are, but you're awesome. And
I'll say,
no, go ahead. I think that was it.
I'll take over. No.
I will say this, you can have an amazing costume on stage, or I'm sorry, you can have an amazing costume, but if you get on stage and you walk on stage and you have no showmanship, you're not owning that character on stage, that can make or break you possibly winning that contest, because showmanship is an important part of the costume contest. That is a component of the judging criteria for almost every contest I've judged. And,
Work that
yours.
stage.
And if you're just walking right on and right off, you're not going to get any points for showmanship. So that means by default, we can't do anything about that at that point. Yeah. Someone can have a great costume, but not as detailed as yours, but because they owned that stage and there was that presence, they commanded the crowd for the time that they had on that stage, that automatically gives them the upper hand because we can award points for something like that. So that's something just to take into consideration when you're walking on stage, just to keep that in mind.
We like to see the passion.
Yes.
Cosplay is supposed to be fun. If you walk on the stage and you're just like shuffling your feet, what?
Did I just see a 5-minute
being
sign?
kicked out?
Is that what I saw? Okay, cool.
If we just see you like shuffling your feet across the stage and you don't look happy, it should be fun. Have fun. Own that stage.
All right, 5 minutes. You got any questions? Now's the time. Yes.
What would you say the hardest part of judging costume contest is?
And not being able to give everyone an award.
Yeah, it's so hard.
To get up on that stage and be in front of a crowd and showing off your work, you should get an award for that. That's what it's tough. It's tough not being able to. We have maybe 3 different places that we have to give, but there's 10 costumes that are just mind-blowing to us, and it's just so hard coming up with who's the best.
I'd say that, or when you're at a standstill with the other judges.
Yes.
Like, let's say there's just this one costume that I feel deserves this particular placement, but then Nicole feels, well, no, this one deserves this for this reason. And we both have just this strong conviction over why we feel our selection is more deserving of another. And just, for me, it's the hardest thing is finding that level where one person needs to concede over the other, and where you have to meet in the middle. Someone has to win, and it's either you make your valid argument and you're going to win that argument, or you have to give in. And I've had contests where I feel one is deserving over all of the other ones, but then the majority's ruling, so I'll have to give in, or vice versa. And those are always the difficult ones, because I'll walk away from that costume contest just feeling like that person really should have won something, and there's really nothing you can do about it at that point, because it has to be a decision made in unison, and someone has to give in at some point.
Yeah, it's also, we all have different skills, so